Oh, perfect. It's finally here. Now that I have the final piece, I can finish the puzzle. So the delete plug I decided to go with came from alloycarbon.com. Was shipped all the way from Greece. It's just crazy that it came from so far. It took a little over a week, maybe more like 2 weeks for it to get here. And it's made up of these pieces. There's the base here. It goes inside the car. And you got the cap that goes on the outside of the car. It's real thin, glossy like glass. And 2 weatherproof washers that go one inside. I guess it'll go like there, and then one on the outside that goes here. They'll meet from the inside and outside, screwed together with this bolt. That's it, that's the whole kit. Now, if I'm right, it shouldn't take but a few minutes and just a couple simple tools. Actually, one tool should only require a flat screwdriver to remove the cover where the motor used to be, some rags, the actual delete plug, and the glass cleaner. That should be it. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, so step 1 would be to try to do this one-handed and hopefully one take, is to remove the cargo cover, take it off the hooks, and then just pull it right out of place. It's got the little points here that go in the holes there, and one on the other side. So once you have that out the way, you set that somewhere safe. Something I just want to point out real quick: if you have any lights on, go ahead, if you have the ability to, go ahead and turn them off, so because your door will be open for a while, so you don't want those things burning and wasting the battery in your car while you're working. All right, so now that that cover's out the way, you just want to remove this hook for the okay, so it looks like I'm gonna need one more tool, Phillips head screwdriver, which I happen to have on hand. So actually you're gonna need to have 2 tools. So with the Phillips screwdriver, just want to go ahead and take out that one screw to remove this hook. And once you have that screw removed and the hook, just go ahead and set them aside somewhere where they won't get lost, and they're easy to find when it's ready to put it back. And now you're going to want to undo, if you have all these cargo covers. Some people don't have all these cargo covers in their car, they just kind of go without them, but just undo the hooks that keep the second cargo cover in place, which go here and here. Just undo them. It just basically just grab and hook. It's kind of like a gravity thing because it's got a little weight. And so you just lift up and remove. That's it. All right, so now you're ready to start pulling off this cover, because this is where the motor used to be. And it's all one piece from here all the way to there. Okay, so this is the one place where you would probably need the flat head screwdriver, which you would probably wrap with, you would want to wrap with a rag so that you don't do any damage to like paint or anything like that. And put it in and kind of pry away at some of this. I'm going to actually try to do most of it by pulling at it, reaching in it with my fingers and kind of just pulling this cover away from its tabs. But there may be a point where you may want to take the flat tip screwdriver and kind of pry it away from some of the connecting joint areas, like right around here, and probably where it gets a little tighter. But I'm going to try to do it just with my hands at first. I'll show y'all how that goes in a second. All right, so just with my hands, I was able to kind of reach around the top and around the bottom of it at the same time with both hands. Using both hands, I just gently pull straight out, and as you can see, the orange tabs just came right on out. So I'm gonna do that all the way around, just kind of hand pull this instead of using the flat tip screwdriver. Just keep in mind, it's gonna sound kind of bad when you're popping out some of the connections between plastic panels. It sounds like you're kind of breaking it, but you're not, it's just plastic. But it does make a popping sound when one connection comes from another joint. So, as a matter of fact, let me let you hear. See how it's kind of sounds like it's breaking, but it's actually just, see, sound like it's breaking, but it's not. It's just popping loose. So, once you have off that cover from here, and it looks like so, it has 4 red clips in it that pops into place, holding it into place. You now want to go ahead and remove the cover that was over the motor, which is here. Basically kind of a one piece. And that should just come right on out. Like I said, it sounds like it's breaking, but it's just popping out of place. Like that. See? Wouldn't lie to you. And in there's 3 orange clips. Okay, so now you revealed where the motor used to be. Like the motor was screwed in here, here, and there. I took that out in a previous video. I may put a link in to link that video to this one. And then after I removed it, I put this Gorilla Tape in on the underside and on the outside of the car to keep the weather out. And it did a good job not leaking, but it was just a temporary thing until my plug arrived. Okay, so when it comes to cleaning up the glass area on the outside, I would recommend being a little OCD. Get it as clean as possible, because on the outside of the car will be just this thin rubber gasket in a sense to keep the weather out. It's got a huge job and it's only a thin piece of rubber, so I would make sure that this glass is very, very clean so that the surface that it's laying on is, it makes good contact with it, right? There's no way that water can roll and get up underneath this. Of course, the cap will be on top of it and it'll be screwed down tight, and it should provide a nice seal, but make sure that glass is very clean first. All right, just a recommendation. Just trying to take my own advice and be a little OCD about it. I already did a little bit of scraping with a blade and got off anything that I thought would keep it from being a nice clean surface. All right, so now you just want to take inventory, make sure you have all the pieces you need before you start. You got your inside mount that's going to draw the outside cover tightly to the glass by screwing it to the provided screw. You got the inside washer gasket, outside, and the actual cap with the screw. So we're all ready to go. All right, and step number 1 is read and follow instructions. So let's see, please tighten bolt by hand, use low force using excessive force will damage the plug. Okay, so I guess you take the mount and you take this screw, which has an Allen wrench head hole to tighten it on one end, and the other end is just flat. So that would mean you should probably go like so, and then start it part the way in like that, and then lay washer or gasket over it, and that will go like that on the bottom of the hole. Then you would take the other gasket and the cap with the screw hole face down, and like I showed earlier, you will put that there, and then go underneath and actually screw the 2 pieces together. So I'm gonna try to demonstrate that with one hand. Wish me luck. Just real quick, one other thing I want to show is I would take the rag that you use to clean the glass and just kind of get any dirt off of the gasket, the rubber gasket, just in case there's any on there that would allow there to be some sort of a bubble that water can get past and get into the car. So I will wipe that clean, and I will also wipe the underside of the surface of the plug itself, and just make sure that both surfaces are clean and lint free before you actually put them in place. All right. Okay, so it just occurred to me that I told you 1 tool in the beginning, but you actually need 1, 2, 3 tools, because of course you got the need for an Allen wrench to tighten the bolt into place. So that's going to require a, let's see, that one is 2, 3, a 5/32" Allen wrench. It's the 4th one from the right. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's this one, and of course you'll use that to tighten up the screw slowly, and so that you don't over torque it and maybe crack the glass, right? Yeah, I know. It took me like way too long to try to see those numbers on that Allen wrench because I ain't wearing my glasses. But shut up. So if any of you knuckleheads want to see, I do have them. Okay. All right, so maybe I'll do the rest of the job with them on. All right, so I'll essentially have like a 3rd hand in place. I'm going to use that tape that I had sealing up the hole temporarily to hold the base in place, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this screw ready to receive the cover on the outside. That should be maybe about there, and then that way it'll be almost like someone else is holding this in place for me. All right, so now it's in place on the underside, ready to receive the washer and the actual plug. So now I gotta do now is just hold this with one hand on the outside, and then on the underside just twist the screw until this is nice and flush and tight to the glass, and then it's gonna kind of blend right on into the glass because they both have kind of a polished finish. On this side, you just want to twist this knob until there's no more play. Don't over torque it, but just turn it until it doesn't move. And it's nice and snug, like that. And now the plug will be flush and it won't move. And it should be weatherproof, but it's nice and clean, blends in a sense. And so now that completes the wiper delete. So another quick, easy way to do this would be to take the screw, put it onto the Allen wrench, have your gasket ready, and just go ahead and put the screw directly into the cap until it's tight. Don't over torque it because you don't want to, I guess, crack. I guess this seems like it's made out of metal, but you don't want to damage it. Get that in there nice and tight, right? Until it doesn't turn anymore. And then just go ahead and put this on the outside of the car. So now what you'll do is you'll take the cap, the screw already in it, and the gasket in place. Just go ahead and lay that down just like that. Get it centered where it's covering up everything. And then just go on the underside and apply the base screw to that. Once you have it centered, probably should just go ahead and put some tape on it to hold it in place so it doesn't move. Once you think you found the perfect location for it, and then look like it's right in the center. So now you should be able to take the gasket and the base and just screw that right into place. Till it's tight. So here's one final shot of everything while it's in place before I put the covers back on, the base and the Allen screw, nice and snug, and plug on the outside. So now your final steps remaining will be to just put your covers back on and your cargo cover hook, and then of course your cargo covers if you have them in your car. All right, no need for me to kind of demonstrate that. It would just be kind of reverse order of removing them. And not to mention, trying to do that with one hand ain't gonna happen. So with that, on that note, see you later. Peace. See, like I said, just a few minutes and you're done. Clean and complete.